Thank you so much to Fanny Flowers for kindly sponsoring today's video. Hi guys, Happy New Year and welcome to Ryemarkable Moms. This channel is all about sharing our positive stories and inspiring one another to make the world a better place for our kids a little bit every day. I think top on a lot of moms' New Year's resolution list this year is to reduce screen time in our homes and to encourage reading with our kids. Today I talk with reading expert Molly Ness. Molly is the mom of Callie, who's 8 years old. Molly has her doctorate in reading instruction. She's a former teacher with Teach for America. She is an associate professor of childhood education at Fordham, and she's a published author. She's written The Question is the Answer, Think Big with Think Alouds, and Lessons to Learn. I met with Molly at the Rye Free Reading Room, and she shared with me her top tips for encouraging reading with our own kids. Be sure to stay till the end of the video today for a bonus tip with Molly. I hope you enjoy, and here we go. Okay, Molly, what's the biggest challenge that Rye moms are facing when it comes to encouraging their own children to read?
The biggest challenge I see is getting the right book into the right reader at the right time. And I'm really passionate about connecting books to children. Books are supposed to be sliding glass doors from which we see the world, mirrors which reflect us, and windows in which we see people unlike ourselves. And when we are able to give books into the hands of readers who need them at a particular time of their lives, we have the power to transform kids and set about a course of reading as a lifelong activity.
So Molly's going to share with us her top tips for encouraging reading with our kids at home. So tip number 3?
Tip number 3 would be to keep in mind the acronym ARC. A standing for access, R standing for relevance, C standing for choice. And the number one way to motivate kids to read is by giving them lots of access to great quality books. We have many resources here in the community, obviously the great library here, as well as arcade books. So surrounding them around books that are diverse both in genre and topic and content. The next one is relevance. So readers have to choose something that relates to their personal life and their interests. So I think to my daughter when she was in 2nd grade, like many kids, she was really interested in Minecraft, and she was taking a class at Rye Art Center, and was really interested in engineering and the whole coding idea. So she was choosing books that were the Minecraft Lego books, and it certainly as a parent sort of took me putting aside my, well, don't you want to read something that has a little bit more literary value? That was what she was choosing to read because it was relevant to her. So being okay with that. So the R stands for relevance. And then C is choice. A question that I get a lot from parents is, my child only wants to reread The Diary of the Wimpy Kid or whatever picture book they've read tons and tons of times. It's totally appropriate for students to reread familiar books, and actually with every rereading they increase their comprehension, their vocabulary, so being okay with letting them choose the books of choice.
Awesome. Tip number 2.
Tip number 2 would be to make literacy and reading a social event in your house. And by that I mean setting aside certain times that you go to a coffee shop or you go to a bookstore and have conversations around books. How great would it be if when you ran into somebody in town, instead of saying, "How are you? What's going on?" you said to another parent, "Tell me what you're reading." And by modeling that behavior to kids, they start to see literacy as a social event. Particularly with teenage readers, I really recommend that reading become almost a model of the book clubs that we do as adults. One of the things I really like to do with families is encourage them to choose a chapter book that has a film adaptation, to spend a month, every reader in the house, reading that book, either the actual chapter book or listening to it on audio tape, and then coming together as a family to do a film version of that movie. It's a great way to motivate readers and to see that literacy is a social event that brings us all together.
Fun. And tip number one?
Tip number one would be to model reading. Our kids need to see us as readers. They need to see us reading actual hard copies of books as opposed to reading on devices. Kids don't naturally assume that if they see us on an iPad or a Kindle that we're reading, so they need us to see us as readers. And that can be taking trips to the library and seeing them, having them see you choose books, talk about the books that you're modeling, and really see the value that you put into reading as an event.
Okay guys, thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't already done so, please check out Ryemarkablemoms.com. There you'll find all the interviews I've ever done, the shop, and you can find links to all the sponsors who support Ryemarkable Moms. And if you'd like to support Ryemarkable Moms by being a sponsor, please email me at lizwoods@ryemarkablemoms.com. Hope to hear from you, and I'll see you guys soon. Before we go, Molly has one last bonus tip for us.
So my bonus tip would be to embrace audiobooks. In my house, as we get ready in the morning, as we are unloading the dishwasher and putting our school lunch together, we always have a book going. And some of the incentive to revisit audiobooks came from my fall and not being able to read in hard copy. But as a reader, I think I've grown tremendously in the volume and the quality of what I'm reading just because of audiobooks. My daughter will take my iPhone and speaker and set it on the ledge of the shower, and while she's showering in the morning, she's listening to Harry Potter. We are always listening to books as we drive places. I encourage in my work with kids who are struggling readers or reluctant readers, we do a lot to use audiobooks to build background knowledge, to build comprehension, so that when they are reading a text in class, they're more likely to succeed in that text.
A great tip. Thank you.